space rough, the great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark, waves the heart as I sun ray my art, her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fakes, marks once we make knowledge one is when time and space rock. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark, waves the heart as that sun ray my art, her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fakes, marks once we make knowledge more is when the rhyme and bass drops. I rose up, took a shower, purified my art field, took copper for a walk to ensure my chlorophyll is pumping. Done some curls for sure, I've more to build. Solid foundation, my crown chakra core and hill, pound the pavement. Sacred ground, freedom I stand for. Free all political prisoners of war, man or woman in jail, with the land of all foreign and alien entities. I decree this morning, send them back to whence they came. Is the peace laugh or war cry, whatever the relevant name of each path, simple, highest form, spiritualities, how you teach math, a humble beast is still a beast. Now feel the beast wrath, rain fire upon them, and the internet forms, sigils, emojis, and the avatars that war them, destroy this de facto government and its quarrels, establish big boss household, she may restore him. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark, waves the heart as I sun ray my art, her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fake, marks once we make knowledge on this when time is space. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark, waves the heart as I sun ray my art, her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fakes, marks once we make knowledge more is when rhyme and bass drop. Legs host, note yourself, quit playing, hit the gas. This shaft is called my turn, take the risk and spaz. Most of them got vaccinated with chips in their ass plus rappers.
Well, you know, the algorithm, it learns to trust you or it doesn't. You know, if you say something's not bad, I don't do that when I upload. I just say it's not for sure. Now, if I was to go through the studio, I would have to say whether something is questionable in there. But you gotta remember, that stuff is educational. And I'm still a comedian. Don't think I'm not just because I'm not telling jokes on here and doing the Godfrey and all that other foolishness. I just choose to do it with a little dark humor and test things, you know, and push the limits. And I have my moments when I have feelings about things, and you know, certain things grab me. I mean, I still feel the same as I stated. It hasn't changed, but I'm still responsible. All right. Like, I think everybody should feel responsible about. How could I be asking everybody to become a collective? I shouldn't have to ask nobody, but everyone is a collective, but it negates negativity. But today, hopefully this may help as well. But I'm not going to sit there and consummate a relationship with lies. I don't care what fake laws or anything else they make. No. You know?
Sacrificing each other for percentage cash.
And I only got one tobacco left.
Subliminals, predictive programming, weirdo, shrunk menstrual shows, the lands contaminated, fruits and vegetables, black minerals, the water, and skies I fry. Quick chemicals, technology got me here in front of my desktop, perusing these beats and whatnot for my best option, contemplating.
I feel like homeboy, just let it all hang out. Get in the sun, take the shirt off. That's the way it should be.
I continue to climb, watching the rest flow. Like carp fishing, 100% fresh short water. I'm on the front line, ex-martial spot. I shine because of her, for she's the best sport. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark. Ways the as I sun ray my art, her make the patriarch.
Julian Alvarado. For those who want to study Spanish, excellent book to read in this video.
Time and space rock, the great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark. Ways the heart as I sun ray my art, her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fake, marks once we make knowledge one is with the rhyme and bass drops.
It's a good read too.
All praises to the Most High. All praises to the great patriarch. Honor and respect to to our ancestors. Draw. You've always had a father, the author of your flow, with your fire starter, the cause of your glow. But the trail I've blazed, I pray you turn from it. The hell I've raised, I pray you don't burn from it. The work I put in, I pray that you earn from it. The mistakes I've made, I pray that you learn from it. You my splitting image, little darker, little taller. I'm a shot caller, though you just a little baller. Latif, I'm still teaching you like he got yang. My yin, reaching you, this might be locked and chain. Like you speaking true, you ignite lots of pain. I feel the releasing of lightning and drops of rain from the sound cloud. You shine like the crown's proud, but unlike we shine, you haven't turned down louder. Smoke screen which surrounds you, shrouds your style. My shout allow your genius to astound the crowd. My beloved, you scintillate profuse. You my beloved, you resent fate foolishly. You my beloved, do ventilate truthfully. You my beloved son, and who I'm well pleased. Okay, shall we?
I'm doing a dead bug. Strengthen my core also, and that hurts. Besides the Navy SEAL bodybuilder.
Cinematographic flashes of your scripted class, get your inner magic, dramatic action mixed with vivid aspects mastered, surpasses the average glass, stretches the facet, through the scope of life's Kodak. Classic, the question you have is mathematics, please ask it. Son, Earth's a classroom, so put your hand up. At last, boom, you already knew the answer. I pray to God to give me another chance for the love of my life. My wife, just a romancer. In the misconception, no time, but second guessing. It's destined you knew who was who. Through a reflection that she showed you of me many years ago. Special features presentation appears to show you my beloved. You scintillate profuse. You my beloved. You resent fate.
You really want to be a child of perdition? Be careful of who you're talking. You have no idea.
Now, Samuel, I am you. Down for show that the signal isn't scramble or deprogrammable. From a look up to a lion, not of my bloodline. Don't give a damn, don't love you as if you was mine. I'll be the first. Forgive me for my absence. The most I sat me down to learn patience through abstinence. Amongst other lessons, perfect my craft and talents. Balance of our legacy in the Black Hawk's talents. Face adversity, overcome all challenges. Generational wealth for the next generation to us. Can't make the same mistakes of past senses. Then let's create an after we've cried. Relaunch this type of atmosphere. Redirected fire. Recalibrate the energy to propel us higher. As sovereign, opulent, autocratus, niches. I look at all three of my sons. On God, I see you, my beloved. You scintillate profuse, you my beloved. You resent fate foolishly, you my beloved. Do ventilate truthfully, you my beloved. Son, symbol, I'm well pleased. The human heart.
In my music, and a lot of this music, it's only talking about the suppressed rising. I mean, the oppressed rising up against the oppressor. That's all. That's what my music's about. The oppressed rising up against the oppressor. So the only people that's scared are the oppressors. The only people who can have any harm coming to them are those who oppress. Simple as that. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, ain't no surrender. 3-pound pressure,
60-year-old man.
drop the oppressor.
Hey, look. I can't even make it. I'm so sore. I can't even get the pump up. It's about 20 inches. So I can't even get my elbow. elbows so off, my whole, I got a double head, I can't even get it though. I can't get it, dude. I'm so, I will take my shirt off and let y'all see my little six pack with my little fried bread around the bottom part. Oh, it's a tight six pack, trust me. But so I'm gonna start my fast in about an hour and a half.
So you better be ready to ride tonight, all the way to the dawn daylight. We gon' run them off, so gon' pass the kite. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop to your presser, ain't no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop to your presser, ain't no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop to your presser, ain't no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop to your presser, ain't no surrender. This world is such a, and when I say this world, I don't mean an ideal sense. I mean it every day, every little thing you do. It's such a gimme. Everybody back off. You know, everybody's like, you taught that from school, everywhere. Big business. You want to be successful? You want to be like Trump? Gimme. Push. Step. Crush. That's how it all is. And it's like, nobody ever stopped.
Mr. Raven. Mr. Raven took a little woo-wop and shook because it felt so good. I know that's right. Pull this stuff up. Okay. Well, anyway, Kawada, you know, y'all know it means thank you or Thanksgiving. Kawada, for those who don't know. So, Kawada. You can say, or there's a number of things you can say. You can even say ace. You can say, salam alaikum. Yeah, in the Hebrew, and as far as Aramaic, Aramaic, one the same. If you're talking about Memphis, Egypt, right here in Tennessee, one and the same. Don't let them confuse you with their division and separation. I love linguistics and languages. And I'm not into the division in the world that has been created to create further division and a separation from you knowing God, knowing you. Because if you're calcified, right? And you have all these parasites, how could you walk in the presence if your house is unclean? This is their thinking. I made to allude to you that having parasites and them calcifying your pineal gland doesn't separate you from God. But you're in the present moment. Don't be fooled. Because, Libel, I asked y'all to research the stuff, and that's why I don't have hope for many of you. Y'all come to me and you think that we're one and the same. How can we be the same if you cannot conceptualize or perceive things as I do? Which you can do even more so. I don't think you heard me. Even the enemy could do that, but they've given themselves over to perdition. They've given themselves over to a strychnine effect. Nothing I can do about that. Only they can. And if they choose not to, oh well. They've convinced themselves of their very monocular lie, and their existence is thwarted then. It's out of my hands. I wash mine. Well, I just want to get into some things here, okay? Before we read Helena Blavatsky and get into the book of Targum. I'm not in a rush. I don't plan on going nowhere today. I plan on being by the water, the still water. Would y'all like to see the still water? DJ, what's up, beloved? I'll show y'all the still water. That's all you get to see. Anyway, I want to start off with Matthew and go into John, and then we're going to carry it over into Revelations. And I'm only doing this because I need y'all, remember, stop interpreting outside of yourself. I need you to look in. If you want to do a quick 28-second breathe routine of 4 in, hold 4, exhale 4, hold 4, inhale 4, go ahead. If you want to do the 30 high, the 20 low, and you want to do the deep breathing in through your nose, out through your nose and mouth, self-hyperventilation to oxygenate, so you can remember something, I'll give you a minute. Go ahead. I did it already. I feel like I gotta take a poo. When I oxygenate, my body regulates like one, and the pain goes away. Come see, come saw. Being honest, I'm not in derelict of duty. But when you breathe, a lot of people know when you're constipated, it means that you're either, usually it means not hydrated. Well, as far as your PSH or women and pH men levels are off, your electrolytes. That's all it is, whether it's diarrhea or constipated. You're just not hydrated. For those who don't know, now you may be able to research it and you may know. Are you kidding me? Okay. When I do breathing, I can see. Okay, keep that to yourself. Stop telling the CIA what you see, all right? Didn't I say when you learn and you actually do see something, keep it to yourself? I said that over a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Keep it to yourself. All right. Not here about egos or nothing. If you see something, you let it grow. All right? And you can increase it. You don't have to say nothing. If you're doing beautiful. If you're doing what is required, you come into self-knowing. I shouldn't have to say that. All right. Get the breathing in. Do the breathing, people. Come on, my beloveds. Come on, children. Do the breathing, please. Remember, it's in 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. Hold while it's out for 4. And do that 3 to 4 times. And then the other breathing is like if you're getting ready to do yoga or Tai Chi Chuan, Chin or Yang style. It's the same thing, the same breathing, okay? And it's beneficial. Hello. Boy Scout. I'm retired military. I went all three through Weeblo, everything. Montclair, New Jersey.
Nice.
And my grandpa was Dynamite Charlie Wright, boxer, professional boxer, and my uncles, we buried
All the
John.
way.
Yeah. I was, so I loved it. I had all the badges. I was going crazy to get the badges.
Our teacher about personal safety if you want to help today.
Personal safety is awesome. And how about, that's okay, no ropes and nothing like that. Okay, no knots.
The tigers.
Okay, the tigers. Okay. Awesome. No, you guys go right ahead. I'm just going to read a little bit.
You're good.
But, yeah, I saw the, I love it. They got their little, he's got it, I love it. Anyway, I wish more of the children were doing that. I really do. Instead of the stuff that they're doing today. That's hope. That's hope. I know it sounds crazy coming from me, but it is. Anyway, get the breathing in. Think, exactly. Okay, so we're going to start off. Excuse me. All right, let me pull it up here. I want to see, is it 13? So anyway, it's going to be Matthew 23. All right. I'm going to start at Matthew 23. And in that, I'm going to run down
Hey, how's it going?
to 13, 14, and 15.
How are you guys?
All right?
Yeah?
So, a warning against hypocrisy. Then Jesus said to the crowds and to his disciples, before I read that,
Did you take a nap too? We all both found we took a nap?
I want to read something. Have any of y'all ever read the Talmud? Like, I know it goes around. For those truly who read Gittin 57a, it refers to a passage in the Babylonian Talmud. And you got to remember, when the Talmud was actually written? It wasn't written too long ago. So when they say Babylonian, that should explain a whole lot. That's new. A passage in the Babylonian Talmud that describes the posthumous after he died, punishment of a figure named Yeshua, the Nazarene, by boiling in excrement. Now the passage is debated, but the passage is real, okay? Onkelos then went in and raised Balaam from the grave through necromancy. He said to him,
You only reaches out to me when he
listen, now that which he decreed against himself, as he undergoes the following, every day his ashes are gathered, and they judge him, and they burn him, and they scatter him over the 7 seas. Onkelos then went and raised Balaam from the grave through necromancy. He said to him, who is most important in that world where you are now? Balaam said to him, the Jewish people. Onkelos asked him, should I then attach myself to them here in this world? Balaam said to him, you shall not seek their peace or their welfare all the days. And you can look at Deuteronomy 23:7 if you need to. Onkelos said to him, what is the punishment of that man? A euphemism for Balaam himself. In the next world, Balaam said to him, he is cooked in boiling semen, as he caused Israel to engage in licentious behavior with the daughters of Moab. Onkelos then went and raised Jesus the Nazarene from the grave through necromancy. Balaam. Onkelos said to him, who is most important in that world where you are now? And Jesus said to him, the Jewish people. Onkelos asked him, should I then attach myself to them in the world? And Jesus said to him, their welfare you shall seek, their misfortune you shall not seek. For anyone who touches them is regarded as if he were touching the apple of his eye. And you can look at Zechariah chapter 2, verse 12. Uncle Allah said to him, "What is the punishment of that man?" A euphemism for Jesus himself. In the next world, Jesus said to him, "He is punished with boiling excrement." As the Master said, anyone who mocks the words of the sages will be sentenced to boiling excrement. And this was his sin, as he mocked the words of the sages. The Gemara comments, "Come see the difference between the sinners of Israel and the prophets of the nations of the world. As Balaam, who was a prophet, wished Israel harm, whereas Jesus, the Nazarene, who was a Jewish sinner, sought their well-being." They're putting themselves above. To conclude to the story of Kamsta and Bar Kamsta and the destruction of Jerusalem, the Gemara cities of Bareta, it is thought that Rabbi Elazar says, "Come and see how great is the power of shame for the Holy One. Blessed be he assisted Bar Kasma, who had been humiliated, and due to his humiliation and shame, he destroyed his temple and burned his sanctuary." That's the Talmud. Well, let's have a look at Matthew 23. Then Jesus said to the crowds and to his disciples, "The teachers of the law and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. So you must be careful to do everything I had to turn what you call it on. Okay. That should be connected. All right. Can you guys hear me? Put a one, please. Put a one, please. How's that? Could you put a one, please? Awesome. Is it very clear? Awesome. Awesome. So let's go ahead and finish reading this. All right. Oh, y'all thought I didn't have it? The shame of you to judge as such. Anyway, then Jesus said to the crowds and to his disciples, "The teachers of the law and the Pharisees sit in Moses. The Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. So you must be careful to do everything they tell you, but do not do what they do, for they do not practice what they preach. They tie up heavy, cumbersome loads and put them on other people's shoulders, but they themselves are not willing to lift a finger to move them. Everything they do is done for people to see. They make their epauletaries wide and the tassels on their garments long. The tassels on their garments long. They love the place of honor at banquets and the most important seats in the synagogues. They love to be greeted with respect in the marketplaces and to be called rabbi by others. But you are not to be called rabbi, for you have one teacher, and you are all brothers, and do not call anyone on earth father, for you have one Father, and he is in heaven. Nor are you to be called instructors, for you have one instructor, the Messiah, not the Messiah, not the Messiah. The greatest among you will be your servants. For those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted." What it means when it says, "The greatest among you will be servants," like this, with compassion, loyalty, trust, not with favoritism, not with fiat, not to hoard and hold on to, all right? No manipulation, okay? You are the Messiahs. So here it says, woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites. You shut the door of the kingdom of heaven in people's faces, the kingdom of heaven. For heaven is within ye. You yourselves do not enter, nor will you let those enter who are trying to. Woe to you, teachers of the law and the Pharisees, you hypocrites. You travel over land and sea to win a single convert. And when you have succeeded, you make them twice as much a child of hell as you are. Woe to you, blind guides, you say, if anyone swears by the temple, it means nothing, but anyone who swears by the gold of the temple is bound by the oath. The dollar. They removed the silver and gold because they want to do away with you, so you should know that. You blind fools, which is greater, the gold or the temple that makes the gold sacred? You also say, if anyone swears by the altar, it means nothing, but anyone who swears by the gift on the altar is bound by the oath. I guess that's saying before you go into purgatory or into heaven, you need enough gold to outweigh the feather. Is that not of mammon? Well, let's look at John. John 8, chapter 8, verse 44. I'm going to read verbatim, King James. All right. You are of your father, the devil, and the lusts of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. Well, let's have a look at Revelations chapter 2, verse 9. I know thine works. Oh, let me read it. I don't want to be sitting here and get people all conflicted because I know this. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty. Oh, it's time for the Holocaust narrative. And oh, you anti-Semitic, we got to make laws. I know thy works in tribulation, self-pity, and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but of the synagogue of Satan. Why is that important to know? Why is it important? Because they have convinced the majority to look outside themselves, to be separate and divided, to think they can walk alone, and that answer will manifest itself. If you're going to walk alone and be like Jonah or Isaiah or Elijah, if you're going to walk alone, then you must be like Job, right? Unless none of you are such. So there is no partition of walking alone. I don't care who you think you are in your little mind. And that thing that is locked up as tight as alum put on a kitten's booty hole. Now, I thought it'd be important because we have a lot of things going on and a lot of people looking and anger and rage and everything else other than things that allow compassion and understanding. I don't know how we got to that point. Well, you got to that point, but I'm aware that it's ongoing. And if you realize that people are going to wake up and you are so cut away from the God body or the collective, you're going to do everything based out of fear to keep loyal to your father. You know what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about the good guy or the good girl or good collective or whatever. I'm talking to the thing that negates negativity and the energy and the stuff that feeds it. And it's important that y'all pay attention to this. If you don't want to, it's all right. But there's a lot to go with it. Let's say that God exists by that narrative. I know there's something bigger, much bigger. Well, we'll use the term God. That was for you guys, but to remind you that you're all connected. Do you think that he, it, whatever, she, whatever, would be worried about all this? Why do you think that you should be worried? I think the only ones who are worried are the ones who have given over to perdition. Are the ones who have the moments when they feel great by accomplishing, I made that 2-mile shot. Did you see me blow his head off? You know, those are the ones with those false sense of rewards and accomplishments to walk around and look bigger than the other, that one day maybe they'll get in the position to control the next narrative. That's not going to go on anymore. How do they say it's already been done? Been there, done that. Okay. Yep, I am what I am. Circles and Saxons. Hey, Rock No Howard, what's happening? What's going on? Thwada, what's happening, Malcolm? What's up, beloved? I hope this is going to be helpful, especially for those who are on their dean or partaking in their sabbatical or Sabbath. I hope that, hey, William Sosa, what's up, beloved? I like to, every once in a while, I said I was going to do this. I was going to pull out scripture. I was going to go through some things to further show that as a group of individuals that y'all are more than that. That y'all are a collective. And I'm doing this for the sake of me too, because I don't have hope for you. I have hope for what's going to happen and how it ends. But I want to have hope for y'all. I still test with the most tedious of small things, and y'all still just go it as if I'm attempting to manipulate something. No, I do it with purpose. And I use the simplest thing, fiat. No tithing. Some would say, you must be from that tribe the Levites are. Don't worry about it. So don't worry about it. All right. You have individuals telling people who they are, Gad, this, that, and other. Ignore them, please. They don't know what they're talking about. They really don't. In every house, there's some of the tribes, per se. So don't worry about who's who. If you see it and you recognize it, that's all that matters. All right? What do you say? Garbage spell name? You retarded. What was that? Original meaning of what's it means to diminish, lose color, invades. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So let's get into Helena Blavatsky, and then we'll get into the battery. I just wanted to give that because you don't have to look outside. All of this within you. They've done their best to redirect, refocus, to give you more somethings when you don't need none of that. Okay? Yeah, absolutely. Shouldn't be worshiping nothing. Because if you're worshiping something, you're doing it for the demiurge, libel. What does libel mean, bro? Break it down again. The liability. People think it's a game. You can call them Satan all you want. Call it Satan all you want. But it's a libel. All right. Let's get into Helena. My neck. Just got to crack my neck still. You see, you're gonna like this. Y'all gonna like this right here. Okay. All right. So did everybody get a chance to watch the video? All right, this is gonna be cool. Sun's coming around, so I'm trying to keep it where it's not and not put them in it. All right, so this is Elena Blavatsky and the Masters of Ancient Wisdom, occult visionary, and her connection to the Mahatmas and Ancient Wisdom Institute. So last time we were talking about the vision continues to resonate with contemporary spiritual seekers. Precisely, the visions continues to resonate with contemporary spiritual seekers precisely because it offers a middle path between science and religion. It invites a view of reality that is integrated, symbolic, and participatory. Participate, guys. It's not going to kill you. Let's go get that hot. We are not separate from the universe. The universe, you. Nor are we passive observers. We are microcosmic reflections of a microcosmic whole, a collective. Each of us part of the one life, not billions, 8 billions, engaged in the vast process of becoming. Don't worry about becoming what. So we're looking at, according to this model of the root races. Now, Blavatsky describes 7 root races, each with its own sub-races and stages. These are not confined to our current historical timeline, but stretch across epochs. You know what epochs is, right? Some of which predate known history and others that are yet to come. In her view, humanity has already passed through 4 root races, and we are now in the 5th, which she associated with our present era of mental development, self-consciousness, and individual moral awakening. Some a little faster than others, some slow than a turd, and some just no hate. Each root race, she claimed, had different dominant qualities. The first root race was ethereal, more energy than form, a phase of pure spirit beginning to enter into matter. The second was still subtle and non-physical, associated with the development of form and polarity. You know what I mean? The third, known as the Lemurian race, marked the emergence of physical reproduction and early self-awareness, being able to pull things in, to reconnect, to have that regenerative. You get where I'm coming from? Be the head, not the clone. Yeah. The fourth, pay attention. The Atlantean developed the emotions, desires, and the lower mind, alongside great technological and occult power, but also moral downfall. The fifth root race, our current humanity, emphasizes manas, the manna. You see they making manna bread and all that? Do not eat that crap. It's not manna at all. It's got soil and cotton seed oils and the mind principle, because it has nothing to do with physical bread. The mind principle, because Yeshua brought manna. The prophets brought manna. The mind principle and the struggle between materialism and higher aspirations. All right. The future root races, the 6th and 7th, are envisioned as more spiritually integrated, where humanity will eventually overcome the duality of matter and spirit, achieving a more unified, compassionate, and intuitive mode of being. Absolutely. And whatever they're doing, there's nothing that's going to stop it. I don't care if they're looking and they go, oh, we're going to do this, or we're going to go shoot so-and-so, and it ain't going to stop it. The theory has understandably been the subject. I told you, maybe they need another 5,000 or 6,000 years. They're still not going to figure it out. But they don't rush because that's what happens. I can't explain it. The theory has understandably been the subject of significant critique and misunderstanding. In the decades following Blavatsky's death, some writers and movements took the root race concept in racialized or nationalized directions, distorting its symbolic, the Zios, and spiritual meaning and aligning it with harmful ideologies that Blavatsky herself did not espouse. Blavatsky didn't hate nobody. Told you she was a mulatto. These misappropriations have contributed to the lasting controversy around this aspect of her teachings. It is important then to approach the root race theory with both historical context and symbolic sensitivity. Blavatsky's intent, as evidenced in her broader writings, was not to divide humanity by value or superiority, but to suggest that humanity is engaged in a long evolutionary process, one that encompasses not just our physical development, but the awakening of our inner capacities, intuition, ethical awareness, and ultimately spiritual realization. The concept is best understood not as a literal anthropology, but as a mythopoetic map of human consciousness. It echoes ancient teachings from various traditions that describe humanity's descent into matter, the materialism, okay, and its return journey to spirit. It aligns with the theosophical belief that the soul reincarnates over ages, growing through cycles of experience, challenges, and refinement. It seems like they catch you. Why do you think they came up with the blood stuff? They needed to see who was returning. It's more than A1, B1, RH, negative. It's bigger than that. And sometimes to get that bloodlines and redirect them and create something that they're not. Like some big game. While the root race model may no longer serve as a literal framework for many modern seekers, its underlying message remains potent. We are not static beings, not at all, but evolving participants in a cosmic unfolding. Our work in each lifetime is to develop those aspects of ourselves that bring us closer to truth, unity, and higher service to one another, to become not merely more intelligent, but more conscious, more compassionate. The whole thing of intel is to let it perform something, a task. We're more conscious, more compassionate, and more aligned with the spiritual laws that govern the deeper fabric of life, the natural order of things. She also proposed that Earth was not the only realm in which evolution occurred. Blavatsky wrote of planetary chains and cycles, extraplane, planetary. Where's Terry? Sequences of manifestation in which life develops on multiple planes of being. Our physical world, in this model, is just one expression of a much larger continuum that includes astral, mental, and spiritual dimensions. This esoteric cosmology was intended not as fantasy, but as a symbolic map, a tool for understanding the layered nature of existence.
Okay, so does everybody know what to do in case of an emergency? If you're lost, you need help. Somebody.
Let me see. Los otros de septiembre y los primeros de octubre. Es el mejor tiempo del año primero porque salva de Cuba. I said, anyway, I don't know. That's not the, that's little, anyway, I'm going to probably read On the Road to Texas, Pete Fonseca, which I'll probably read in Spanish and English. My Spanish, I'm working on getting it better. I know my daughter speaks Spanish and a couple of, I can't speak Portuguese, but I'm going to get a book on it. My other daughter, who will be retiring in about a year, keeps saying, you got to learn to speak Portuguese. I said when I was down there, I remember when I was your mama, it was fudge. Okay, all right, let me stop. So let me get into the next Tartarian. I know that was not right. My apologies. I want to stay moral, ethical on here. But it made her beautiful her. Her name has been smirched, sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. Wasting time. What? No. Sitting on the dock of the bay, watching the tides roll away. That's my song right there. Anyway. Hey, sitting on the dock of the bay, watching the time roll away. Okay. The Hegelian dialect, absolutely. Yes, okay. Carrie, we stop with that garbage spell name. Okay. The nerve of you. Mosquito. Bill Gates. No. What do they give you candy? Okay. No. What do they give you favorite toy you wanted? Who else is up in here? Okay. Now, do you guys know how to use your parents' cell? Everybody has parents' cell phone, I'm guessing. Oh, here we go. You guys know how to use your parents' cell phone? I know you ain't here to see. I know that. What's up, beloved? They're doing safety. I want to help them with them safety classes. I think it's awesome. There are some voice activated devices. I don't know if I trust them well, so it's just better to just teach them how to swipe off or then just hold press on the phone. Okay, so let's get into it. Yesterday we did this massive influx of people coincide with the erasure of Tartarian cities and their replacement with a modern society. Absolutely. Okay. The destruction of, where's Millennial? I guess she might be. It's Sunday. Is she work? Are you working, Millennial? Anyway, and Olmec, he might be working. Or he might be having a good time with the family. The destruction of Tartarian cities in the Great Fires. Let's get this one. That's my last one, y'all. Throw that crap away. I think I'm ready. Anyway, the destruction of Tartarian cities in the Great Fires. One of the biggest clues that something unnatural happened is the mysterious destruction of entire cities in the 1800s, entire cities, which paved the way for European settlers to move in. They couldn't know what they were moving into, except for their head Masonic, you know how the Maiden's Tale went. There were certain people that were part of the certain parties and they knew everything and all the other ones should know nothing. And they took a whole group of individuals that existed during the regular time and they made them submissive slaves to impregnate and make new lives, regardless of for what. Well, anyway, and they went by color codes. So examples of major cities resets. The Great Chicago Fire of 1871 destroyed most of Chicago, allowing for a complete redesign. Then look at the Great Boston Fire, Boston, 1872, wiped out entire sections of the city right before a new wave of European migration. Now, a lot of these places weren't fires. They were literally blown up because when you look at the pictures after, you still see the trees, the poles. You see things that if it was a great fire, those things would be scorched earth. They literally blew them up. And some of them, they were so big, immense that they made new mountains. They just kept pouring dirt. Then they went after our bison, kill them as many as they could. And then the last few to give to certain families to make them the heads, to make them rich, who they were ignorant and dumb, to replenish the bison, the deer, the elk, and all that. Anyway, San Francisco, earthquake and fire, 1906. Massive destruction followed by a rapid rebuilding effort. Earthquake was just the bombs going off. And the people were up actually standing there watching it. One's getting off the boat. Seattle Fire of 1889 cleared the city of previous architectures, allowing for a fresh start. New York City, the Seneca You see what they do, how they deal with, they don't respect life. These Zionists, these, you know who, cynical village and all that. Then they turn around and make this big goofy park. You know what park? Seattle fire of 1889 cleared the city of previous architecture, allowing for a fresh start. New York City fires, multiple between 18 and 1900s, continually reset different districts of the city. New Amsterdam, the burial grounds. They built a park right over our burial grounds, then turn around somewhere in the 19th century, 20th century. Oh yeah, those are African slaves. No, those are the original people of the fucking land. All right. Did these fires and natural disasters erase Tartarian infrastructure, making way for new European migrants to build over it? We were still building and showing them how to. The role of the orphans in shaping the new society. Check this out. If the Tartarian civilization was erased, the orphan-trained children and newly arriving European immigrants would become the new society. Orphans were given land and jobs, ensuring they assimilated into the new America rather than questioning its past. Orphan boys became farmers, laborers, industrial workers, helping to rebuild a post-reset world. Orphan girls became housekeepers and factory workers, ensuring the new culture, culture was controlled. They were raised with no knowledge of Tartaria or the lost past, making them the perfect candidates for reshaping the future. If entire generations grew up disconnected from the old world, they would never question what was lost. As you see, the hidden truth behind the Cabbage Patch Kids. The transition from the orphan train era to institutionalization to psychological programming seems to follow a clear pattern. Step one, the mud flood reset, early 1800s. Seems like everything took off after the 1800s, right? Entire Tartarian cities buried under mud, population displaced, orphan numbers explode, orphan trains erase Tartarian heritage. Step two, the institutionalization of orphans, 1930s, 1960s. Look at these numbers. State-controlled orphanages replace orphan trains. Psychological experiments, mind control, and eugenics program target orphans, MK Ultra. And step three, cultural normalization of lost children, 1980s to present. Cabbage Patch Kids make mass adoption a cute, harmless game. The real history of erased children is rewritten as a child-friendly fairy tale. The idea of children appearing out of nowhere becomes fiction instead of fact, which it was. If Tartaria's destruction was a real event, then the systematic erasure of its surviving children would have been one of the final steps in rewriting history. World War I. The Cabbage Patch Babies exist as real historical fundlings, later transformed into a toy narrative to suppress the truth? Absolutely. And what do you think happened to their offspring? One thing is certain, the real history of orphans, lost civilizations, or forced assimilation has been carefully rewritten. What else might be hidden in plain sight? But you know they existed, because those of us know about them, because my great-grandma and them talked about it. And what happened and what they started doing later on as they got older, and drinking and everything else. We always use marijuana. Did y'all know that? Cocaine? They took it and weaponized it. Marijuana was a medicine that worked well. 1800s cloning. The mystery of the Cabbage Patch Babies, manufactured or forgotten children of Tartaria. Throughout history, certain phenomena arise that seem too strange to be coincidence. They appear out of nowhere, with no clear explanation, yet are woven into the fabric of our society. One of the most bizarre of these anomalies is the Cabbage Patch Babies. Not just the dolls, but the legends, myths, and eerily timed cultural narratives that surround them. The movies still exist. Hell, they were on some of the early TV shows. Go and get Sally and Bob and Mickey. And for those who remember, for many, Cabbage Patch Kids are just a wildly popular toy from the 1980s. But what if this cultural phenomenon was a remnant of a deeper hidden truth? Could the Cabbage Patch Baby concept actually be a symbolic retelling of real events, a representation of an erased group of children from our historical record, possibly tied to the totalitarian reset?
Okay, we'll come back.
Excuse me. Remember I told you when you talk about the Natchez and our people, Punch Bowl, they put our people and blocked them off into a certain gully in Natchez, Texas, you know, because that's who we are. And they let them, and they refused cannibalism or anything else, and they died there. Who fought in the Civil War? So on our side, the Gray, the so-called Gray, the Confederacy. The strange history of the Cabbage Patch Baby legend, connections to the orphan train movement, and the funneling hospitals, the eerie similarities between real-life lost children and the Cabbage Patch narrative. Whether the Cabbage Patch Kids hold subconscious clues to a larger erasure of totalitarian children. Well, all you have to do, people, if you take the time, there's still hundreds of news articles. They exist. And again, videos, just like what Abe Lincoln looked like, all right, in Holiday Inn, played by Dan Cosby, and so on. Blackface. Now, the strange origin of Cabbage Patch Kids, more than just a toy. The Cabbage Patch Kids dolls, released in the 1980s, became one of the most popular toy lines in history. I remember that. I was in high school. But what made them so different from other dolls was the bizarre backstory, unlike typical dolls, which were marketed as being made in a factory. Cabbage Patch Kids were said to be born in cabbage patches and adopted by parents. The official Cabbage Patch Kids adoption story, we got the Garbage Pail Kid cards and gum. The babies were found growing, bullet point 1. The babies were found born and growing in your Cabbage Patch. Bullet point 2. They were not born in hospitals or to parents, they simply appeared. Bullet point 3. They had to be adopted by children, mimicking the orphan train and funneling home system. The legend raises serious questions, and we're going to look at 3 bullet points of that. Why create a story where children are just found without parents? 2, why were they not born naturally, but instead grown from the ground? And 3, could this legend be a distorted memory of real events? One that was deliberately erased from history? Would say yo. The historical parallel, were there real Cabbage Patch Babies? Well, the concept of children appearing mysteriously without parents or records has been a real historical event, particularly after resets such as the mud flood and Industrial Revolution. And we're going to get to that next time. So I wanted you to have a little bit of the Sabbath. To me, it's always the Sabbath. And then I wanted to clarify some things as to who you think's behind it. It's obvious that you know now.
If you guys are in that forest and somebody calls out your name.
And as far as government and this being a pyramid, government's way down here. You got a whole lot of other stuff to go above. What's surprising is the majority, the people on the bottom carrying the damn period that builds it. You would think that they'd be smarter than what they are. Sadly, that's not the case. You know, Mickey Rooney, yeah, was orphan, yeah. Especially, yeah, with the trans, yeah. Ambrose gone. Can he be? No, I'm not gonna deal with that one, bro. The overseers, the custodians. It said that people, they think that the custodians or Negroes or something else. It doesn't matter. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed that read.
1, 2, 3.
Awesome. It worked.
Hope it was beneficial. I hope you got something from it.
Fantastic. So that is the whistle exercise. So you'll once again,
and if you'd like to donate, you can. And if you don't want to, it's all right. Stork brought on the stork. Yeah. That was another thing to download and play it out of pocket and make up. That was another line. I remember watching TV shows and movies, and then after the movies, that was one of the things that would show these new babies like Pampers and all that. Because I think I did a couple commercials for Ivory Snow and when I was a baby. in the 60s. Sitting on a Raider, just dressed up, black and white, big, punchy, googly, giggly, laughy baby. Anyway, you know, I think that was all just as it should be. You know what I mean? But I appreciate y'all taking the time. I'm sore. I guess I'm gonna get ready to start this fast here in a minute. Man.
Fantastic. Thank you, Tater. All right.
If you want to donate to help me get some tea, what's in there now, that's only for the, like I said, I'm saving everything up to get the whole package that I've shared. I think I shared 2 or 3 times. But if you want to donate and get some green tea or something like that, or, you know, some turmeric and stuff like that, go right ahead. And I'll use it for that. I'll separate it. And I appreciate you guys. All right. Got to do something, you know. Top symbol, weird. Yeah. Something else, right? See you guys later, man. The bird's the word. Bird, bird, bird. Bird's the word. The bird, bird, bird. Y'all retarded.
Okay, good.